Koreans seem to have a very healthy mythology surrounding the afterlife. From Uncanny Counter to Tomorrow, we're introduced to Jumadong, the afterlife company that specializes in escorting the souls of the dead and punishing those for their crimes in the land of the living. However, a new department opens up, the Risk Management Team.
This drama brings back the return of Rowoon, who we last saw in The King's Affection, as well as Lee So-hyuk, whom you might recognize from Doom at Your Service.
The Risk Management Team, led by Miss Koo, is tasked with handling very delicate cases involving those at risk of committing what some Grim Reapers call the ultimate murder, the murder of oneself. They run around with an app alerting them of potential victims and tries their best to prevent it.
But be warned, the stories deal with a heavy dose of difficult themes and topics such as suicide. What's up, Sunday fans? Welcome back to another video. My name is Flip.
I'm Element.
And we get together each and every week to catch up to some of our favorite dramas and K-pop related content. And if my voice is a little weird because I was at a wedding and I was just yelling, having a really good time, and so it's a little bit scratchy, so it's a little bit off today. But if you like that type of content, consider joining us if you're not already subscribed. Tomorrow. I really like it so far, you know, it's actually pretty cool, it's pretty entertaining. There's some things that we're not big fans of, but it does deal with some serious topics about suicide and bullying serious. And all of that stuff.
There's a lot of shows that deal with the afterlife. We have Along with the Gods, we have Doom at Your Service, Uncanny Counter, where it seems like they spend a lot of time thinking about the supernatural aspects of the afterlife and what could be. In this case, it's like, you know, the Grim Reapers, the Shinigami of K-drama world. And it's very interesting how they kind of make it into a company versus kind of like a society of Grim Reapers.
They kind of remind me, oh man, my voice is crazy. They kind of remind me of the Men in Black, but of course these are like the Death Angels or the Death Gods, the Grim Reapers of the afterlife, right? And what's really interesting is that they have these different departments. They have these different departments that kind of deal with different things. They have the escort team that escorts souls from the newly departed and take them to the afterlife to be judged, whether they go to hell or they work for the company or they do something else. And they have the risk management team, which is a new department that they just opened up that deals with trying to prevent people from committing suicide.
What's interesting about Miss Koo is that she comes from hell herself.
Yes.
And she seems to have some sort of special relationship with the director or the Jade Emperor.
Yeah.
They keep on talking to each other about someone that she needs to save in the future.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here wondering who might that be, whether it's herself. I'm predicting it's herself. Like she needs to meet herself and and save herself.
Maybe because in the latest episodes, there are some things that she said that things have been predetermined. When they go back in time to save Jo-woong's best friend Jae-soo, and you know, she said something along the lines of this must be predetermined. So there's something that we could start to kind of think about in terms of predicting what might happen. There were also snippets of like flashbacks of her and some kind of altercation, and so there could have been a murder or something happened for her to end up in hell.
The only reason I think that she's there to save herself, as you mentioned, it was predetermined. She came to that thought or the conclusion based on her conversation with the director. I need the keys to the car. And she said, what do you need that for? It's been banned. And she said, I need to get the chicken. She said, oh, the chicken.
Yeah, you
should go. So that like seemingly points to something that of course is predetermined, and there's a plan, a larger plan that the director has for her.
Now this show is based off of a webtoon of the same name, but the one thing that I kind of found annoying, and I don't know if it's the same in the comic, is Jo-woong himself. His character is actually kind of getting on my nerves. I don't know if it's annoying you, leave it in the comment section below, but I know there's something about him being hopeless and then all of a sudden becoming some sort of a hero and kind of changing his story arc as we progress.
Yeah.
But so far it's kind of like, man, like, is there really anybody that dense? Is there really anyone that thoughtless?
Yeah, I mean, as I was watching this, I was thinking to myself that the writers were trying way too hard to create this disparity between Miss Koo and Jun-woong, who is, of course, like, it's understandable. He's gone from interview to interview, and he can't seem to land the job, and he's down on his luck. But then you have Miss Koo, who is kind of nonchalant and stern and just, you know, very forthcoming and very cool about things. And the more that they interact with each other, especially with Ryung-gu, where he just keeps on like pointing out how dumb he is, where he didn't know that if he went close to his body, he would die. He didn't read his contract. And then Junwon, as if he thought he did something, he was like, oh, I suppose you read it too. And he's like, yeah, I do. I read the whole thing. This is the contract with the Afterlife company.
Yeah.
You should read the contract. But what I love the most about this show is how charming it is and how it emphasizes empathy, because it takes a lot of cases and kind of boils it down to a consumable story where, you just met these people. You start to care for them in a way that you would only care for them if you had watched maybe like 6 or 7 episodes of the drama.
Right. And the first 2 episodes was so meaningful and so profound when you meet the TV journalist and the trauma that she's going through. And so like it really the drama really started in a really awesome way to introduce you to the concepts, to the theories and the stories. But those first 2 episodes really hooked me in. We meet a TV journalist struggling to cope with the trauma of being bullied in her past as she faces her demons in the present. As Miss Koo and Junwon travel into her memories by way of a magical key, the sequences of events reminds you of Inception as they traverse one memory to the next while everything begins to crumble. This scene was just so fantastic. The production value, I'm very, very impressed with the production value so far.
The scene was great for a different reason for me, because Miss Koo came through in the end and kind of gave that woman her just desserts,
That was great.
We went through this whole story, all of her memories of her being bullied, and then we come to realize when she is a writer, and she writes a book about bullies and like
she's
revenge.
The bully herself.
And she's the bully herself. Yeah. You think that perhaps she has changed, but then when she recognizes her from her school, she starts to bully her again.
She was still a bully, and those just desserts that you were talking about felt really good in terms of giving the show some justice. That made me feel really good just watching.
And it was more than just like the typical revenge where you just slap her and say you deserve it.
Yeah,
she put her in like her own memory, but herself bullying herself. So it was kind of shoe on other foot type of justice, and I thought that was amazing. And of course, the next case was Junwon's best friend Jae-soo. We mentioned this earlier about the chicken, where they had to go back to the past this time, not through memory,
right,
but through the DeLorean or the Back to the Future car, where they tried to find the chicken place that he had eaten on his birthday when he was 6. They actually had to make the chicken themselves, and this is when Miss Koo was like, maybe this was predetermined. And I just thought that was a lovely sequence where Jesse realizes that the quote that he got from his father, failure means you need to try again, actually came from them who wrote the note on the chicken. And like, this is all like,
all this time travel, like it's breaking a lot of rules,
paradigms.
Right? Like the paradigms, it's not making sense, because as a Grim Reaper, you're not supposed to be involved in anything, in any kind of interactions, whether that's the past, the present, with any of the people that you're trying to help. But in this case, it's them that actually created the fried chicken dinner for him to have that memory. And I don't know if he even had fried chicken in that birthday.
We know
and
that
if his father actually died that day. I don't know.
Happened?
So the future, the past was changed and the future was changed, and Junwon's father was
added to the photo.
Yeah.
So they did change the past seemingly. And she has to approach this next case that we are in the middle of with episode 3 and 4. When she doesn't have powers, I think she said she got 2 weeks. She has a ring.
She had 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, she has a ring that supposedly dampens her powers for the next 2 weeks. She runs into a soul that has died, but has unfinished business. She's trying to prevent her lover or her partner from committing that act. And they kind of clash with the escort team, because the escort team is supposed to escort that soul.
Yeah, this next case is really kind of like a tale of like the lonely songwriter and falling down from Grace ballerina, right? Like they fall in love, and then something happens where there's like an accident, and so in the dying seconds of that episode, I think his name is Woo Jin. He suddenly says like, "Oh, it's because I killed her," and so that we're kind of left hanging there.
Which makes me think that he was involved in the accident in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, we don't think, because they show the frames of her being in a car accident, and she did in fact die because of the car accident.
Yes.
So we can't say that he took a knife and stabbed her, right? So I'm thinking that he is in the truck that she crashes into, and he was maybe drunk at the time and down on his luck, and he kind of crashed into her. I don't know how he could. Maybe he thinks he's responsible.
I mean, I think he was probably in the car with her and probably did something where she lost concentration or she lost focus on the road and the inevitable crash happened. So I don't think it's anything where he was the actual driver,
or maybe he broke up with her and she was frantically driving away.
So many things could have made that happen.
It's almost as if we were watching another K-drama. Watching these two fall in love,
that was
it was
great.
Weird how like in such a condensed manner we got to see so much of their relationship and kind of be like, aw. Now I'm already a fan of like these Grim Reaper shows. Shinigami is a huge kind of deal in the anime world, and there's a lot of anime dealing with death gods and kind of their role in all of this. This is the selling point for tomorrow, and I'm kind of hooked right now. But we're definitely interested in following this show through. There's this huge mystery with Miss Q. Who is she trying to save? So let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of the first 4 episodes of Tomorrow, and let us know who you think Miss Q is trying to save. But of course, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to turn on notifications. As always, this is what we're watching this Sunday. We'll see you guys next time.